Hi, me again. Not in such a dyskinesia effect. Fairly okay. I've been quite poorly today. I had a gastric infection, which meant my medication didn't take. Obviously thrown up. I was bringing my medication back up with me, so I had enough food. Came home after 2 hours at work, which I didn't like doing because I feel that I let people down. I don't like letting people down. Working in a school, 13 weeks a year school. We work with children for 38 weeks a year, obviously. So if I have to take time off work, it's crazy. Obviously, who wants to be ill when they're on holiday? But then again, we can't afford to be ill when we're working. I'm lucky at our work. We have good sick pay. Doesn't stop you feeling guilty when you're not in work though, because obviously you need to keep your routine and stuff. I have young onset Parkinson's, and this is a major issue for me, working. I need to be working. I need to have control of my finances. I got into a lot of debt after my husband and I had separated quite a number of years ago. Money coming in just to pay for my children. Got into skills, I ended up borrowing, which is a vicious circle because you can't get help from the banks because the banks look at you and think you're a high risk. So you go to, for polite word, loan sharks, or impolite word, loan sharks, that charge you 50, 100% interest. So I got into a mess, which ended up going into a debt management company, which kind of, it took a weight off my shoulders when I did that. But then something went wrong with the company, and he didn't tell me. He passed my name on to somebody else who phoned me up, and you think, oh, the PPI call. Oh no, I've got a PPI. And it was a company telling me that he'd gone bust, even though I'd been paying him for like the last 3 months previous. I'd made 3 payments to him, and he was no longer trading. So this company suggested, because I owned my own house, that I couldn't declare myself bankrupt because I would lose my house. So I did the next best thing, which was a difficult decision to do, which was to go into an IVA, which means I can't get finance. I can't apply for finance. Every penny that I have coming into the house is accounted for. My creditors get every spare penny that I have coming in. Last year my youngest daughter left college and went to university, which means I now no longer get child support from my ex-husband. I no longer get child benefit. I no longer get child tax credits. I earn too much to get working tax credits. So I panicked. I was in a situation where I have say £1,000 a month coming in wages, and I've got £1,000 worth of bills going out each month. That doesn't include my shopping. That's just household bills, mortgage, council tax, you name it. So what do? You stress, which then causes you to have symptoms. Catch-22 situation. Stress causes Parkinson's causes stress, and so on. It just continually goes round and round. I applied for PIP. Fortunately I did get it, but filling the forms in, it was a nightmare. Having to go for an assessment was a nightmare, because Parkinson's, and people don't understand this, Parkinson's is a degenerative illness. It is different in every single person that has it. We can look perfectly fine. I've now calmed down. I had quite a bad dyskinesia earlier on this evening, because obviously my medication hadn't been sent in my body, but because my body's calmed down now, the medication I've just taken at 10 o'clock is actually working. So although my head's slightly a bit like noddy, it's not as bad as it could be. young onset Parkinson's does cause more problems. Maybe it shouldn't, but if you're in your 60s and you're sure you've got Parkinson's, it's upsetting you. So you've got an illness that can lead to dementia and other horrific conditions that I don't want to think about, because I know that is in the future. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's in the far distant future. I'm 48. I want to see my grandchildren grow up before I get to the point where I can't do things for myself. I do struggle now, so applying for PIP was a difficult decision to make, because one, I didn't think I'd get it, because I didn't think that they would believe me. Didn't think that they would, thought they would look at me and say, she's fine, she's young, she can do this, she can do that. But we need a lot of help that people don't see. I live opposite where I work, so I'm lucky. I can leave 5 minutes before I need to get to work, and I'm in work on time. I start work at 8 o'clock. I have to be up. I have to have my alarm go off at 6 o'clock in the morning, because it takes me an hour to be able to get out of bed. I've got aides to help me. I've got the guard that I can grab hold of to help me pull myself out of bed. I have a contraption under my mattress that sits my mattress up, but that's very noisy, so although it's good because it sits me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Do I want to do that? Because I don't want to wake my daughter up and put her in a bad mood. Anyone that knows Chelsea knows we don't want Chelsea in a bad mood. She's not a morning person, but then again, not many of us are. So young onset Parkinson's, we have financial worries. We have some people younger than me have younger children that they need to support. My youngest is 18 and is at university studying of all things psychology, because she wants to understand what goes on in the brain, why I got Parkinson's, whether she carries on to investigate that side of it, or whether she changes and goes on to something else next year. I'm not sure. She's sticking with psychology because it interests me. Some of the stuff that she's shown me that on a course is fascinating, and I wish that I could also do that. I'd love to understand why this happened to me, what happens to anybody. I'd like to understand the causes of Parkinson's. Now, idiopathic Parkinson's is, they don't know what causes it, basically. Universities are researching it, and one university said that it can be caused by stress, which I found quite hilarious, because I've always blamed my previous school for making me like this. Just laughing, and knew it was that bloody school, because I shouldn't say this, but it was a tough school. Anyone that worked there with me know it was a tough school. We had a lot of challenging behaviour. We had very little support from top brass, shall we say. Not saying anything out of turn now, she's no longer at the school. But dealing with very badly behaved children for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, when you go into teaching, or as I did, into supporting teaching, because I'm a teaching assistant, not a teacher, makes it hard. We used to sit in the staff room and we'd laugh. We'd discuss incidents that had happened during the day. People would would not believe us, what we put up with. But looking back at it, we can laugh about it. We couldn't then, because it was just so outrageous. Children from 5 years of age up to 11 years of age with the most horrendous behaviour issues I've ever encountered, and with management that would make excuses saying they come from single parent families. Well, I'm sorry, that's not an excuse. My children came from a single parent family after my husband and I separated. I would have been disgusted if I was told that my child had thrown a box of Lego at a teacher, or had a chair thrown across the room, but never in the classroom. We were swore at, we were attacked on a daily basis. But we got through it. We supported each other, and we would sit and laugh in the staff room saying, you know, one day we're going to be sat there in the nursing home, all huddled together in the corner, shaking. Oh, be careful what you wish for, because 3 years after leaving that school, I moved to a calmer school close to where I live. I was diagnosed with the onset idiopathic Parkinson's, and when this university said that this could be a trigger, because it's not hereditary, nobody in my family has Parkinson's, I have never suffered from any head injuries that could have caused it. Muhammad Ali's was caused through boxing, so I just laugh now and say, I knew it was that school. Maybe I should sue them. Don't panic if you're watching this and you're still working there. I won't. I'm just joking with you. We had some good times there. We were a very supportive staff. It is a shame that children are like they are. It's the world we live in. Unfortunately, there's more and more ignorant people in the world, and not just children. There's a lot of ignorant people out there that look at you when you're having an off day and accuse you of being pissed. You go to a hospital in an ambulance because you've had an episode at home, and the doctor accuses you of having an anxiety attack. Oh, you're just having a panic attack. Well, I tell you what, had I been suffering from anxiety, the way that doctor spoke to me, I could have walked out of there and topped myself. A complaint was put into the hospital and it was dealt with, because my daughter basically mimicked the doctor, and she did such a good job that the consultant that was over A&E at the time recognised who we were talking about, because obviously I didn't get names. Memory. Can't remember shit. I've got to write everything down. I've got to do make notes, and then I'll write a note and I forget what I put the note for. What was that for? I take an awful lot of medication a day. 4 times a day I take at least 3-4 tablets. I take tablets to help me sleep, I take tablets to control Parkinson's, I take tablets to help me sleep, to stop the cramps, and to hopefully avoid vivid dreams, because vivid dreams were one of the worst. I needed to get help for that, because I would be screaming in a deep sleep. I would be screaming out loud and shouting things, and my daughter was terrified. Didn't know what to do. She said, I don't know whether to wake you. I don't know what to do. What do you do? So I said, wake me. If you hear me screaming, come in and wake me. I need to get out of the dream. It means I'm not being able to get out of the dream. I take a spray, which I'm going to have to take now because I've got a dry mouth. I have dry mouth, so I need this magic spray, which people look at you crazy. It makes saliva in your mouth, so you can talk in, because you know what it's like. You've got a dry mouth, tongue sticks through your mouth. It's like waking up after a night on the booze. I wear a patch which gives a slow release of medication. It's only a low dose, because I had been on a higher dose a couple of years back, and my nurse was convinced I was having compulsive shopping disorder, because you can have compulsive behaviour, side effects. Horrendous. Don't ever read the side effects of your medication, because you will be convinced you've got all of them. I have a cream, hydrocortisone cream, because the patches itch, they irritate, they cause rashes, so you need the cream to counteract that. I have eye drops, because my eyes get very dry. It's like looking through a mist. You can't see. I've always worn glasses, normally for long distance, and never had to take them off for short. Now I spend most of my time like this. On, they're off, on, they're off. And if you have a glass wearer, you will understand how annoying that is. feel like at the minute that I'm constantly just looking through a fog, so I need to go to the opticians, but cost again. We renewed my car insurance this year. Well, that was a joke. My renewal came through at £700, but because I wanted to pay monthly, it was only £1,000 a month. I had a quote from another company, again, that would only accept a one-off payment because I'm in an IBA through debt. And of course that makes me a bad risk. At £565, so it was a difference. Fortunately, my family, very helpful, and helped me get that money together to pay for my car insurance. I need my car because my mum lives in the northeast of England, and I only live with a relative. She's 82. She doesn't get out much, she's got no friends, she's lonely. I can't get there as often as I'd like to get there to see her because of the distance, it's a 2.5 hour drive. I go through, and you can guarantee within minutes of me arriving at the house, she's got shoes on, she wants to go shopping. She shuffles, so she's slow, so it's not like going shopping and like whizzing around the supermarket, getting the shopping, going back to her house and having a relaxing time. It's a tricky day, it's a long day. I leave Manchester at say 10 o'clock in the morning, I get back to Manchester at 10 o'clock at night. During those hours, I've spent 5 hours driving. I've been shopping, I've done her housekeeping for her, cleaned the house. She lives off ready meals, so she's she's the first to admit she's not good at housekeeping. She's not good at. She can't see well, so she doesn't see the grime build up that you and I might see. I also take powders to help keep me regular, because without being regular, all of this doesn't work. And I didn't understand that until last year when I was having bad episodes. Nurse explained it to me really well, so now I do try my best to keep up to it. But when you've had days like today where you've had a gastric infection which has made you very loose, it makes you scared to take it because you don't want to go through that again. But you can't afford to get constipated because the medication does not work if you're constipated. Most people think that Parkinson's is a tremor. Well, yes, there is the tremor. The tremor for me was one of the later signs that I had this illness. Initially, I thought I had a trapped nerve, which is why I saw the GP. She sent me to neurology, who diagnosed an essential tremor. 3 years later, it was changed to Parkinson. I said, well, what can you do? What does that mean? What does that mean for me? And the doctor said, you've taken it quite well. What can you do? Can't change it. Can I change it by having a hissy fit? If I break down crying, is that going to change the diagnosis? No. I just got to get on with it. Always be one that takes life at what it throws at me and gets on with it, and I try to be strong. Sometimes being strong is hard. 4 children to raise, not always easy. Good times, bad times, we all make mistakes as parents, and it's hard to accept that you've made those mistakes. It's hard to admit, but hopefully we've learnt from them. Hopefully that my son, who I made the most mistakes with, has now forgiven me. Well, I know he has, because he comes to me when he wants something, so he must have forgiven me, otherwise I won't come to him, would I? My daughters have been with me through all of this. They are my rocks. My oldest daughter has her own house now. She was living with me. Obviously it became a bit crowded when she had a child, so she got her own place, and I'm proud to say that I'm proud of all my children. Jennifer especially, because of what she's doing for herself. 2 young boys, working, their own place, managing to keep head above water. Chelsea, my first child to go to university. Proudest moment of my life was seeing her graduate. My youngest daughter is now at university, so hopefully I'll get to see her graduate. I'd love to be around to see grandchildren graduate. My eldest granddaughter is 8 and lives in Wales, and I love her to bits. Wish I could see more often. Have 7 grandchildren, 6 of whom live in the Greater Manchester area. See 5 of them a lot. I'd like to see my twins more often, but they're hard work, and as much as I'd like to have them and their older sister every weekend like I did when they were first born, my illness prevents me from doing that. I can't cope. I mean, I raised 4 children on my own. I could look after other people's children. It was a doddle. It's fine, but you get to a point in your life where you've got to accept what you can and can't do, and this is what I found hard with Parkinson's, and what I would imagine a lot of people with Parkinson's find hard. Accepting your limitations, understanding your limitations. Getting people to understand your limitations is also very difficult. I'm doing this video because I want to raise awareness for Parkinson's, especially young onset Parkinson's. Not because we're any more special than anyone with Parkinson's, but because we face more difficulties. We need to work, we have younger families. We have concerns like, well, how am I going to pay my mortgage if I'm not working? I'm just checking my computer for the facts. 1 person in 500 is diagnosed with Parkinson's. That in the UK means that there are 127,000 of us with Parkinson's. About 5% of those people have young onset Parkinson's. That means they are under the age of 50. I was talking to a lovely gentleman last weekend who was telling me he'd been made deaf. He'd gone totally deaf and wrote some books about it, and I said, well, I have Parkinson's and it's hard. And he's like, look at me, you're too young to have Parkinson's. I'm like, no, actually I'm not. And he's like, put your arm out, and then he's like, oh, you're putting that on because my arm was shaking only slightly. Normally it can stay still. Sometimes it shakes, and it started to shake, and he said, oh, you're putting that on? I went, no, actually. I said, I'm doing my medication and tablets are wearing off. But the tremor isn't the only thing. We have dry mouth, we have what's called a frozen face, or I like to say my bitch face. Children in school, I can tell when it's happening in school because I get children sniggering in the classroom because my neck goes all over. I don't like it. I really don't like it when it does that. It's getting veins sticking out. My daughter says my eyes seem to look like they're popping out on stalks. It's like a cartoon character. I forget words, I get flustered. I freeze, which means I can't move. I stumble. I slur. And people are looking at me and think, you're pissed. Well, I'm not pissed, I have Parkinson's. And sometimes I let it slide when people say that. Sometimes I will answer back. I have a blue badge because I need to open most places from my car door. I'll park up in a parking bay, and people will say, oh yes, she's definitely disabled, isn't she? Well, actually it's an accessibility bay. I have a key to use the disabled toilets, or as we're trying to get them changed to, trying to get them known as accessibility toilets, because the sign for disabled toilets or accessibility is a person in a wheelchair. Well, as we all know, not all disabled people look disabled. I don't look disabled. On a good day, I look like any other, hopefully, young woman looks. Not as good as I'd like to look, but you know, we're never happy with our own appearance, are we? So, when people say this about me, I can normally 9 times out of 10 let it slide. I have on occasion shouted, well actually yes, I actually have Parkinson's, and would you like to see my medication? Would you like to see all these tablets that I take? So don't judge a book by its cover. and that's why I'm raising funds for Parkinson's UK. If you have recently diagnosed with Parkinson's, or you have a family member that's been diagnosed with Parkinson's, this organisation are fantastic. They have all the help that you need. They have information out there to help you get support. Don't do what I did and go on Google and type in Parkinson's, symptoms of Parkinson's, because it's scary. There are a lot of things in there that we don't need to know. Because then you start looking at it and thinking, well, actually, yeah, do I do that? And, oh my God, is that what it's going to be like in however many years' time? I mean, I'm hoping that there's no time limit on Parkinson. Nobody knows how it's going to change. Mine has progressed a lot faster than I would like, and yet I'm still in the early days of Parkinson's, but I can see a big difference in how, in 3 years, what my life is like. 3 years ago, I just had the odd tremor. Now I suffer quite frequently with dyskinesia, dystonia, which is pain associated with Parkinson's. I have restless leg, which, looking back, I had for quite a number of years before I was diagnosed. Restless leg, when you can't keep still, you've got to constantly move. You're constantly moving your legs. I had excess saliva, which again was a symptom of Parkinson's. I now have dry mouth, which is opposite because of the side effects of medication. So I have to take a spray to keep my mouth moist. I carry a drink around with me, which at 48, carrying a drink around with you, drinking a lot, means more visits to the toilet, which not always convenient. So it's finding ways to live with it. I'm lucky living in Manchester. We have a very good neurological team based at Salford Royal Hospital. The nurse I speak to, Lucy, is my rock. She's fantastic. There's a fantastic team of nurses there. I've also spoken to Patsy, who's been a great help, especially last year when I was going through lots of side effects of the different medications that I was on, and then they both helped me in different ways get the help I needed. I've had physiotherapy to help me cope with freezing episodes, so I know what to do when I can feel that I'm going to have a freezing episode, because my body starts to slow down, so I'm now aware of when it's going to happen, so I can sing a song, listen to music. I got a dog last year for Mother's Day. Small one, my little Milo, cute he is, Latisse, so that I can go out walking more. I'm doing a sponsored walk the dog around a local park, which people think, whoa, wow, she's walking the dog. What's that? That's not much, is it? People run marathons and do all sorts of crazy things. Well, for me to walk my dog around Bogart Hall Club, which is near where I live, is a challenge because it's very hilly. It's hilly. Depending on how much you walk around it, it can be easier than others. And with Parkinson's, some days I can walk great, some days I struggle. So I'm doing this walk to raise awareness of Parkinson's. I've got a few friends that are joining me. I'm doing quite well with, fingers crossed, sponsoring, and our Just Giving page. I've had quite a few generous donations. All proceeds are going to Parkinson's UK. Ideally, I wanted them to help put more nurses in hospitals across the country, because there's a massive lack of nurses, specialist nurses. And some people that I speak to on chat rooms in the UK and across the world don't have the luxury of seeing a specialist nurse. They just see their consultant once a year. I see my consultant, well, I was seeing him twice a year, it's now once a year, but I see my nurse twice a year. She's always available at the end of a phone call. We might play cat and mouse, trying to catch hold of each other. I phone her, leave a message, she phones me, leaves a message. But eventually I get to speak to her, normally within a couple of days of me needing to contact her, and she gives good advice. She has me, physiotherapy gave me good advice on how to cope. The rhythm, walking to a rhythm helps keep you moving. I need to keep moving to stop my muscles from deteriorating, because that again is a problem with Parkinson's. Your muscles deteriorate, you then fall. I wake up covered in bruises, no idea where these bruises where they come from. I live on my own, so it's not because of bedroom activities, shall we say. Sorry, kids. I have frozen face, bitch face, I slur, but 90% of the time I look okay. But every day is different, every hour can be different. Feeling in a pit form where it's asking you what you can do. Well, some days I can do everything, but then another day I can't do anything. Some days I can start off having a really good day, then I can have a massive dyskinesia attack or a freezing episode, which means I can't move, I can't speak, I can't tell people what's going on, and it's scary. It's scary for the people watching, it's scary for you, because in here you know what you want to say. This, however, doesn't communicate clearly. So I know it's hard, and for those of you that are carers like that, you also need support. Chatting after my last video that I shared where I was having a mild dyskinesia, had some lovely comments back from carers as well as from sufferers who said, I struggle to, I don't know how to help my husband or my partner. What do I do? Well, just being there for them is a main help. They know that you're there. They know you want to help them, and they know that you're doing that your best to support them. And as you know, the effects don't last forever. Within an hour of having a really bad attack, you could look like nothing was ever wrong with you, that you didn't even have an illness. Sometimes it can last longer than that. So we need people to be aware of this condition. We need to raise funds to find a cure, to find the causes. This is a way of preventing people from getting Parkinson's, because it's not a death sentence, it's a degenerative illness. People that's what are applying for the PIP have been told, are you fit to work? Well, you've got a degenerative illness. To be honest, you're not going to be fit to work. If you've already been told you're not fit to work, it's highly unlikely that your condition's improved. My condition has deteriorated a lot faster than I had hoped. I mean, officially it's been diagnosed for 3 years. Unofficially, looking into research, looking at all the symptoms I have suffered with signs of Parkinson's since early 2003, 2004. But doctors put it down to fatigue, major one. Oh, it's your age, it's feminine issues, you know, you're losing too much blood, you're not getting enough iron. Give you iron tablets. Constipation, well, that's because you're taking iron tablets, you see. Stress, well, that's your work, you know. Anxiety, it's your job. Side effect of Parkinson's. You put all these symptoms together once you put the diagnosis, and you look at it and you think, well, actually, I had that. Out of a list of 10 items on a website, I had 8 of them that I could say I'd been suffering from for years before my diagnosis. So it's a case of listening to people and getting the correct support. I've got, like I say, a wonderful family that, so 99% of the time, are supportive. Okay, they always have that one day where they just can't be arsed and, oh, for God's sake, step out of it, Mum. But I know they don't mean it, and I have got the best friend in the world who is always there for me, and who herself has gone through some awful treatment. She's had cancer twice, beat it twice, thankfully, and the second time she was told she had it, I think it upset me more than it upset her. She just gets on with life as well. You know, had I been told I had cancer, to me that, you're thinking, oh God, it's a death sentence, I'm going to die. But she fought it, she come back, and touch wood, she's been clear now for a number of years, and hopefully come back. We say hopefully, because who knows, we never know. We don't go out the house and get hit by a bus, get hit by a car. Idiot drivers, lots of idiot drivers on the roads these days, so you never know what's around the corner. So live for the moment. Don't judge people by what they look like. Help people, and please, please share this video. I know if you've watched it back to this end, well done you, because this is I've done a few of these takes to try and condense it, and each time so I'm getting to the same 35 to 40 minutes length of a video. So I do apologise for it being such a long video, but I do think it's important, and we do need to raise funds for Parkinson's to help people. So please share, and please find my link on Just Giving and donate however much, £1, 50p, anything, whatever you donate helps. As one of the supermarkets says, every little helps, and it does. We need more nurses, we need more research into the illness, and your money can help do that. You can help future generations not go through what myself's going through, what my family are going through, and what lots of other families are currently going through. Every hour somebody is told that they have got Parkinson's. That is a scary statistic, to think that every hour somebody's being told they've got a disease that they're not going to get better, they're just going to get worse. And I try not to think of the future. I want to see, hopefully I want to see my children have grown up into being responsible adults, most of them. Charlotte, do mean you and that sweetheart, I do love you. My daughters obviously live near me. My son's moved away, but he's there. I know he's there for me. He's always at the end of the call. Might be more interested in the fact that I'm interrupting him playing one of his games on the Xbox, but he is there. I know he's there, and he's got beautiful children who I would love to spend more time with. I've got 7 grandchildren, and only 2 of my children have given me grandchildren, so the other 2, hopefully, who knows how many I could end up with. But I'd like to be around to see that. I'd like to be around and mentally able to contribute to my grandchildren's life. My grandparents lived London and the North East. Didn't really see them as much. I'd like it. We need to bring back family communities. We need our families there around with us, especially in this day and age when a lot of young children come from families with bad experiences of school. They've got no parenting skills, so they need support, they need guidance. We all need support and guidance. And I will stop talking now, and again, wish you a good night, and please do share on whatever website you want. Please donate to Parkinson's UK. If you know someone with Parkinson's, show them, tell them about Parkinson's UK. Some people don't know about it. It's a very underrated condition, because people obviously focus on the major one, like cancer research. Red Nose Day, where they raise money for children in bad conditions, but we need to focus on finding a cure for Parkinson's, and with your help we can do that. So please, please help, and I promise this is the last thing I want to say. Good night, have a pleasant weekend, enjoy Mother's Day. I will, because my daughter's treating me to a lunch at James Martin's restaurant in Manchester, so should be a good day. Just fingers crossed it's a good day health-wise, so that I can enjoy James Martin's food. And from a friend who's coming with us, because they also bought her ticket, let's hope that James Martin is there, because she's obsessed with him. Don't tell him I said so. Good night, God bless.